Hey friends, welcome back to Walt Christie World. We're talking about all things Disney and Disney pins and Disney merch. And today I have my husband Rhett here, and we are going to talk about our top 5 things that we're looking forward to for this year's Food and Wine Festival. So let's get started. Okay, so I'm going to start. I didn't actually put my 5 things in order, but because I can't put things in order. But I'm gonna start with my number 5, so we'll work our way up to number 1.
Right.
So, okay, my number 5. Okay, I'm gonna go with the France booth, and it is the beignet aux 3 fromages. I'm sure I butchered that. Warm beignet filled with 3 cheeses, and this is a new item, and it sounds super weird. And everything I've seen on Instagram and other like media outlets have said it's weird, but that like you have to try it because there's no way to describe it. So I have to try it even if it sounds weird. And that comes in at $5.75, which isn't really terrible as far as Food and Wine Festival stuff goes. But yeah, I don't really know what else to say about it other than it sounds weird and I have to try it. So I'm looking forward to it. And I'll probably also get a couple other things from that booth. For sure, the creme brulee. So I'll have a little savory and a little sweet from the France booth. So, all right, that's my number 5.
So to start off, this is not really within the spirit of doing a ranked list here, but I do want to toss in a quick honorable mention.
Okay.
As you know, 2 of my favorite things are beer and chicken wings. So the brew wing, I believe it's called, that has a bunch of different beers and then several varieties of chicken wings sounds really good to me. Nothing there is particularly unique or interesting, so there's nothing that would make like a ranked list of, hey, this is something I'm looking forward to try, but I do think it sounds really good. And I probably
sounds like Buffalo Wild Wings, but
I
whatever.
probably will try everything there.
Yeah.
But anyway, so number 5 for me, this is not something that I think sounds particularly good, but it does sound interesting, and you pointed it out to me when the menus first came out. But it's the crispy chicken on a sriracha glazed donut from the Doughnut Bot donut box.
I took this off my list.
You took it off your list?
Yes.
Okay, well, I put it on because I think it sounds, like you were saying, it sounds really weird.
Dog's barking, sorry.
Yeah. It sounds really weird, and I don't know that I will enjoy it, but it also sounds super interesting. So I'm sure we'll try that. I know you mentioned it, so I'm gonna try a bite of that just to see what it's like. But it sounds cool, I'll say.
Yeah, it does sound interesting. I took it so I came up with 10 things and then had to narrow it down. So yeah, I took it off. Okay, we're gonna have to pause so that we can take care of our dog for a second. He's barking at something. Okay, the dog is taken care of, and now I'm out of breath from going up and down the stairs. Okay, so I think for my number 4, I'm gonna say this is from the refreshment port, which is not where it was last year, but and it's hosted by Borson, and it is the maple Borson cheesecake with whipped Borson maple, bourbon cheese, and candied pecans. That's a mouthful. Jeez. And this is $4.50. Which, did you write your prices down?
No, I didn't write the prices
down. They just happened to be there when I copied and pasted, so I figured I would tell them. But anyway,
I've had by hand.
Oh gosh. Okay. So I've had this before. This is actually the only thing on my top 5 that is something I've had before. But I remember, there's a cat in the front yard. That's what the dog was barking at.
Oh, and there's a bird chasing it off.
Yep. So anyway, I love this cheesecake. I don't think I had it last year, but the year before. Super, super good. There's 2 cheesecakes at the Food and Wine Festival. The other one, I believe, is at the Hawaii booth, and it's like a passion fruit something. Not as good as this maple one. So definitely gonna get that. The other thing that is from a past list that would definitely be on my list, but is not at the festival this year, is the hummus fries. So that's why this is the only repeat on my list. But I love that cheesecake. I love most cheesecakes, so that's my number 4.
All right. So my number 4 is from the Italy booth, which I know
you did this last time.
It is always a disappointment, and I guess the early reports you have seen from this year say that it's maybe not any different this year.
I can't remember honestly.
But it's a new venue. You know, it's all new
new
stuff. But they have a bunch of ravioli this time, and I really like ravioli.
Ravioli.
Yeah, you would think, but I guess we'll see. But it's the mezzaluna croccanti, crispy half moon breaded mozzarella filled ravioli with pomodoro sauce. Okay. You know, I really like fried ravioli. I like cheese too, and I like tomato sauce. It's got all of that.
So that just sounds like toasted ravioli.
Yeah, it doesn't sound super special, but it does sound good. So hopefully that'll be something from the Italy booth that is not a disappointment for once. We'll see. But I am interested in trying most of what they got there. I mean, they've got like 3 different kinds of ravioli that sound good.
So my thing with the Italy booth is that it's always the most expensive booth and it's always the most disappointing booth.
Yeah, I can agree with that. Yeah.
And it's usually like, maybe it's because their descriptions sound so fancy, but it's really just like the most basic stuff.
Well, I really like Italian food, so you know.
I guess, yeah. I don't know.
I do, but I guess that I go there expecting something more than just pasta and ragu sauce that we cook up at home,
or
and
like
it's
the
really better than that.
Flatbread that was it's just a cheese pizza.
Yeah, that was really disappointing.
You can get a cheese pizza anywhere.
I was expecting something a little fancier than that, but it was basically cafeteria pizza.
Yeah. The one time that Italy got it right was during a flower and garden festival, and it was probably like 2018, and everything on the menu was good. But that's the only time that it's big. And it was one time when I went without you.
I was gonna say I don't remember that, but
I don't remember going during the spring without you before. I think I've only been in like January, so maybe it was the Festival of the Arts booth that was.
Yeah, that could be.
Yeah,
I haven't been to Festival of the Arts.
I feel like you're really. I'm gonna scoop you.
Can you scoop?
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, so I'm gonna go with number 3 now, and let's go with the Hawaii booth. This is usually a winner, and this is a new dish: a tuna poke with eel sauce, spicy mayonnaise, and crispy shrimp chips for $7. I know they've had some kind of tuna poke before.
Yeah, they've had they've had a few different versions of it. I feel like over the years, but
I feel like they had something similar to that at the Japan booth last year, because I have a picture holding it. But yeah, supposedly this is new this year. So, but I like poke bowls a lot. So it's something that stood out to me that I would like to try, and I feel like usually eel sauce is good.
Yeah,
right?
I like eel sauce.
Okay, so yeah, all the things on it sound good. Shrimp chips, I'm not really sure what that means.
Yeah, that sounds odd.
Yeah, I don't love shrimp, so.
Is it chips of shrimp or shrimp flavored chips?
How do you flavor something like shrimp?
I don't know. They make ramen that's supposedly shrimp flavored.
Okay, well, we'll see. I can't imagine that it has like big pieces of shrimp in it, so it should be fine. Not. I was just talking to my friend Katie about that today, that I don't really like shrimp, and she was like, it's like the only meat I like.
Yeah, shrimp's great.
Yeah, well anyway. Okay, so that's my number 3.
All right, my number 3 is going to sound really crazy to you because we had a discussion when these menus came out, and I said, I never really like anything from this booth, but it's from the France booth, and it is the Coq au vin Pommes Dauphine, chicken braised in burgundy wine with bacon and puffed potatoes. So once I really read through the menu and thought back on, festivals past, I did remember that the beef there, the beef bourguignon, was always really good. It's a little boring, but it's always really good. This sounds potentially more exciting than that, and since it is the non-escargot meat dish they have there for this festival, hopefully it will be just as good as the beef. So I think that sounds potentially really good. I also like potatoes and bacon, so.
Well, we really liked this stuff. What is it? We got something at the French booth during Flower and Garden. Oh no, we got the La Isla Fresca and we brought it over to the France booth. Never mind. So we just got the beignet at Flower and Garden. But okay, yeah, I think we'll probably get everything from France except for the snail, the escargot.
Yeah, I would like to try it again sometime. I feel like the first time we tried it, and I'm not against the snail. The snail was fine, but it was overly garlicky.
It was really
and that's really hard to do for me because I love garlic.
Yeah.
But it was like knock you down, overpowering.
Yeah. I don't even know if did we even finish it?
I don't think we did.
It was a lot.
The croissant was not particularly fresh either, which didn't do it any favors. It was a little, you had some fairly chewy escargot in a kind of room temperature and chewy croissant.
It's hard, yeah. Croissants are hard.
Yeah, they can be great, but they can also be really bad, and there's a very fine line in between those two things, I feel like. So maybe we just had a really bad example there, and it would be better again. Maybe time to try it out.
One thing to note that I have heard from a lot of people, and that has been our experience, is that you can go to the Food and Wine Festival one day, get something, and be like, wow, this was amazing, and then go back the very next day, and it's like really crappy. So I think you just have to, I don't know.
Yeah.
You just have to know there might be a dud here and there. I think more often than not, if it's a good dish, it's going to be good when you get it. But the cast members are always changing. You never know, they may be missing an ingredient one day. You never know. So, something to keep in mind. Okay, I'm going to go with, all right, I'm going to save the best for last, I guess. That's the point of this, isn't it?
That's the point.
Okay, so my number 2 is from Japan, which is not surprising, I'm sure, to you. We love the Japan booth and Japanese food in general. So, the spicy Hakko sushi. Hakko?
I would say Hakko.
Okay,
Yeah.
Hakko.
Yeah, I think.
Spicy tuna and salmon served box style with red tempura crunch and volcano sauce. And this is also new. It is $6.50. So I think it is it's like a square, and it has like the 4 pieces of sushi.
Okay. I haven't seen it.
I don't know. I haven't done a whole lot of research yet because we're not going until like the very end of the festival. So I haven't looked at all the pictures and things, but I think that's what it means by box style. So I could be wrong. But yeah, I like salmon. I mean, I like sushi, salmon, tuna, sushi, all the things.
Sure.
So I'm looking forward to that. Any new sushi roll they put in there, I usually try it. So yeah.
Sometimes it's a disappointment though.
Is it?
The frushi.
Oh, that's not sushi though.
But it's
not sushi.
Ushi.
I know, but it's not sushi.
Well, I feel like you were really hyped up by people on that, and we tried it, and it was.
I didn't like frushi.
Kind of rice and fruit.
Is it rice though?
Weird. I think it was rice.
I don't think it's really rice.
Whatever it was a weird textural combination.
Yeah, it was odd. But people really like it. So,
yeah.
I don't know.
Oh well.
Okay.
All right, number 2 for me is also my only repeat, and is also my only dessert on the list. So, just like your cheesecake, is from the Ireland booth. The warm chocolate pudding cake with Irish cream liqueur custard.
Do you think it'll be even smaller this year?
I don't know, but what I found odd is that I'm 90% sure that this is the first time they've ever put the word cake in it. Because I remember getting it the first time, and it was, and I did do a minor amount of research back into years past for the warm Irish chocolate pudding, and that's all they called it. And the first time I got it, I was like, wait a minute, this is just like a volcano cake, basically. It didn't have like the center that, that was all liquid or whatever, but it was like you took one of those and just basically dispersed the liquid throughout it. It was just like a really, really moist cake. So they're being more honest with their description this time, I guess. But that thing is excellent.
It is really
always
good.
really, really good.
Yeah. We've been getting that since the very first festival we went to.
Yeah. And they are slowly dismantling all my favorite things. So I guess that one will probably be gone by next year.
Yeah. Well, at the end of this, we'll talk about our past favorites that are like completely gone and RIP, and maybe they'll come back someday.
Maybe.
Yeah, I like that one too. But it is funny that it's like the first time we got it, it was like this big around, and now it's like this small.
Yeah.
It's like 2 bites. It gets smaller every year. Okay, number 1. I have a feeling our number 1s are going to be from the same booth.
Probably.
Yeah. Okay, my number 1 is from a new booth called Noodle Exchange. And I had a hard time choosing which one. Obviously did not want to choose the tofu. Actually, I would like the tofu, but I'm more of a meat person. So I went with the traditional spicy Vietnamese beef pho with shaved beef, enoki mushrooms, and Thai basil. It is gluten and wheat friendly, and it is new, and it's $5.50. So I love noodles. I've only had pho once and really liked it. I kind of wish that they had other, because they have 2 pho dishes. And then what's the other one? Is there a lo mein one?
Let's see. Yeah, the tofu and the beef, and then there is an udon, and then coconut curry rice noodles.
Okay. So the udon is more, yeah, okay. Well, anyway, it's fine. I mean, like, I feel like they can't get too crazy because they don't want to keep like 6 types of noodles in there, but I would love to see like a ton of different things at that booth.
Yeah, that would be cool.
Maybe they'll just switch it out from year to year, but I love noodles. We make noodle dishes pretty often at home, so.
Yeah, we're big noodle fans.
Yeah. Someday we hope that we can access fresh ramen in our small town, but I'm not getting my hopes up. We like to make ramen and we have to use the dried noodles, which is kind of sad, but someday.
It's a bummer.
Yeah, so that's my number 1. I'm excited about everything from that booth, and yeah, so.
Okay, so try not to be too mad at me about this because of what you just said, and also before, we were discussing this the other day, you were so proud about how you were able to pare your list down to 5 items. But
you put everything.
For number 1, I just put the Noodle Exchange.
You cheated.
I couldn't pick. They all sound so good, and if I didn't do that, this video would be extremely boring because it would have been 3 or 4 things from the Noodle Exchange on my list.
Okay. Well, I get to shout out my other things on my list too then.
Go ahead.
No, you can finish yours first.
No, I'm not going to read through the full menu. It's just the full menu of the Noodle Exchange. I think it also...
You're going to try the tofu? Okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, I've had tofu where I've liked it. I feel like it's gotten a lot better over the years from like the first couple of times
I feel like
I had it.
Tofu that's in dishes, noodle dishes, and soups and things like that is fine. Yeah. I don't love it just eating it as like a meat replacement when it's just a pile of tofu, but I think it would be fine in a noodle dish.
I feel like a lot of people really like that Impossible slider. It's like a meat substitute thing.
We've had that a couple times, and they're okay.
Yeah,
I don't have anything against it.
So the flavors from Fire Booth is one that I ended up taking it off because it's something that I've had before, and I thought, well, I'm going to focus on some of the newer things, but I usually like everything from that booth. So
yeah.
Now that we're done with our top 5 lists, we'll do I'll tell you a couple more things from my list that I had to cut since somebody cheated.
Before we move on, though, I just want to say, this Flavors from Fire thing, unless I'm misremembering what is on the menu, kind of don't like the weird football puns they've made with the dish. I don't understand it. But what is the connection between the Flavors from Fire and football? I don't know,
but it's like they're sponsored, I guess. So they had
sponsored booth or something. Okay,
they had to rename them all with football terms.
I just thought that was really weird. I don't like pun food dish names.
But they're not even good puns.
Yeah, they're really forced. They're really forced. It's like they obviously had the menu in place, and then we're like, well, we got to shoehorn these in here somehow. I just thought it was really weird.
They did it last year too. So the one I had thought about putting on here was the chimichurri up offense, which, what does that even mean?
Hurry up offense is a football thing where you don't huddle and you hurry back to the line trying to run a play really fast.
That's a stretch because people who don't watch a lot of football,
right? Yeah,
don't have a clue what that means.
It's some pretty inside football terms there. The hurry up offense. I think one of them said something about a pylon, which a lot of people wouldn't associate with football. I
recognize that is a football thing. I think pylon.
Yeah.
Isn't a pylon also like something that goes in the ground?
Yes, and that's what this is talking about. I believe it's not talking about like piling on someone. It's the little orange markers at the corner of the end zones and stuff are called pylons.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Weird stuff. I don't know. Don't like it.
Also, the mac and eats, pretty much everything on that, but specifically the cowboy macaroni and cheese with the smoked pork belly, brisket burnt ends, pickled peppers, and onion straws sounds right up my alley.
So looking through that, I wasn't sure, and I didn't go back to look, but that looks like a lot of really boring macaroni dishes compared to what was there last year.
It was like the same thing.
Was it the same?
Year.
I just thought there were some more adventurous stuff there last year.
I think
that all
it's
sounded
a new
kind of boring.
booth, but it's like.
But they had a bunch of macaroni and cheese at one of those. It was inside.
Yeah, they had a buffalo one. I think the truffle one was on there last year. I could be wrong. I don't know. They seemed less cool than I'll get that crazy one. I probably won't get the other ones. And then I had the donut thing on there because I think the sriracha glazed donut sounds good. So I read an article from Disney Tourist Blog, and he like railed on that thing and said it was like impossible to eat. But
impossible to eat
because
taste wise, or
just you can't eat it. It's like it's all just for Instagram and not actual practical food.
So it's a huge hunk of chicken just sitting on top of a donut.
Sounds
basically.
like it, yeah. Which I kind of hate that they do that. Like they create some of these foods just to have pictures made of them,
make videos of them.
Yeah. Which I mean, I take pictures and I post them on Instagram, so I can't say anything. But I also want to eat it. Okay, and also the Swanky Saucy Swine booth sounds interesting. And I thought that the crispy pig ear salad, I was like, that sounds weird, but I want to try it.
That's what I thought too. I was like, I don't know what this is. It sounds odd, but I mean, the other stuff just sounded kind of, it's a pork booth. Nothing sounded too special. But
if it was chewy pig ear salad, I wouldn't want to try it. But crispy pig ear salad, I think I could handle. Okay, so now let's shout out our long lost loves of years past. I'll go first. Hummus fries, but I can still get those.
Yeah. Mine is the spicy lamb meatball, or was it lamb meatball with spicy tomato chutney?
Yeah.
From the dearly departed New Zealand booth.
So there's no New Zealand.
There's no New Zealand booth. That's the reason it went away, is because they just took the whole booth away. Which, to be fair, the lamb meatball was the only thing I ever got from there. Was the only thing I think was particularly good, but I really loved it, and it's been gone for 2 or 3 years now. It's been.
Was it on? Yeah, we did this video 2 years ago, and I think it was gone.
That was the first year that it was gone.
Shouted it out.
Yeah. So,
and then the other one was the what's that stuff called?
The nitro.
Yeah.
Yeah, the nitro.
It's like a chocolate truffle.
Like a mousse kind of. Yeah, I don't know. That thing was really good though. Yeah. But I keep at this point. There seems to be more of a blending between the Food and Wine and the Flower and Garden, and I have a hard time keeping them straight. So I don't remember if that one was.
No, it was for sure
always
Food and Wine.
It was always Food and Wine.
Yeah.
Okay.
So last year they replaced it with the cake pops. They had the cake pops and they freeze dried or ice. Why can I not think of what that's called?
It's
nitro.
Nitro.
Yeah, the nitro thing.
That was not an acceptable.
No, it's not. It's not even close to the same, but. That was from the Chocolate Studio booth, and the Chocolate Studio booth is no more, so I guess they're just not going to have that anymore. But
bummer.
I can't think of any others that I just like. Really sad about.
If I went back and looked at some of your trip reports and things, I'm sure I could come up with a couple more. But the lamb meatball is just the one that I will never need reminding about because I will never forget it.
Yeah, I still have my list from the last time we did this. So yeah, the hummus fries were my number one. Oh look, I had something on the Italy booth. Ravioli. But it
was probably disappointing.
It was. And the souffle with fig marmalade, which is back this year. Or no, it's not. Never mind. The blueberry and almond frangipane
the frangipane tart's back.
Yeah. And then the charred chimichurri.
That's the same thing.
Duck confit. That was at Refreshment Port. Oh, I remember.
Really?
I remember getting that. It was a poutine. It was too much.
Too much what?
Okay, so I can't do the poutine from the kiosk because it's always too cold. It's never fresh enough.
Yeah.
I can do it from the place in Disney Springs.
Yeah, the poutine, the dedicated poutine booth there.
The ones that I've gotten at Food and Wine Festival have just not been good. They're like, the fries are really soggy, and maybe I just don't know what poutine is supposed to be like, but I need at least a little bit of crispness in my fries.
It was not, it was,
and like
they're pre-making a lot of the stuff, so there's a little bit of that to it. You get it from the booth in Disney Springs. They pull the fries out, they dump the curds on top, they dump the gravy on top right there in front of you, and then hand it to you.
Yeah, I don't want my curds to be sitting there with the gravy, just like sitting there for 10 minutes before they give it to me, like, eh. Okay, so anyway, well, that's it. And I will leave a link to the last video that we did because a lot of the food is still there. And yeah, you can hear us talk about that from a couple of years ago. But thanks for joining me.
You're welcome.
Well, it's fun to do a video with you every couple of years.
Yeah.
All right, well, I'll be back next week with the July terrarium pin. It should be coming in the mail any day now. So see you in the next one. Bye.